everybody screams. That's my only thing. Yes, I'm a born winner of Jordan 23. All my people G's until the party cease. Run it.
新北国王的球迷朋友们，很高兴今天呢能够在这个天气那么好周末与你们再度相聚。我是今天的主持人，球给彭尊的彭尊。
所有现场的球迷朋友们以及直播前的观众们，你们好，我是你们今天主持人汉迪汉迪利，大家给我跟彭尊一个尖叫声吧 ，Come on！All right。我们新北国王在4月15号以及16号呢，再度携手药师健生活 PLEAGUE 举行全城荣耀主题周，将新庄城堡打造成大型健身房。除了有拳击、跳远、举哑铃等趣味性的体能挑战等你来体验之外，完成之后还有诸多的精彩好礼可以领取，教你打造健康生活。邀请诸位一起来到新庄城堡，突破 PR， 创造属于你的最佳纪录。
那中场呢，一样呢，我们药师健生活 PLEAGUE 呢，我们会有我们的 PR 突破 PR 上篮挑战，我们将会请到全国健力选手以及知名的重训的 YouTuber， 最近常常办各种挑赛，好像4轮呢一起到现场跟各位一起同乐。那获胜的组别呢，可以获得 PR 能量饮1箱，以及呢健生活3000元的购物金。希望呢，等一下中场可以一起邀请大家说球迷朋友来一起完成挑战自己的 PR。
好的，那另外呢，在我们本季每一场主场赛事呢，将会随机抽选一位幸运的球迷朋友，可以在该场赛事后的1个月期间内呢，前往 Lululemon 任意门市进行产品体验，并且可以获得价值等值8000元的商品。所以，请各位务必留好你们的票根，我们会在宣布今天的幸运中奖名单。好的，那在比赛开始之前，让我们先用最热烈的暴动声，让我们来欢迎新北国王啦啦队 New Taipei Queens。Yes sir。All right, DJ song, drop the Queens.
Let me check my chest, my breath right quick. He ain't never seen it in a dress like this. He ain't never even been impressed like this. Probably why I got him quiet on the set like zip. Like it, love it, need it, bad. Take it, own it, steal it, fast. Boy, stop playing, grab my ass. Acting like you shy. Shed it, save it, keep it, pushing while you beating round the bush and knowing you want all this fun. Yeah, I let them bitches hate and I have you with me. I love my saying you mad committed. Really than anybody you had them ready. I let the body out of that ass and titties. It's been a long time since you. Probably why I got him quiet on the set like zip, zip, zip. All of them bitches hate and I have you with me. He ain't never seen it in a dress like this. He ain't never even been impressed like this. Do that, baby, all night long. And I'ma turn up all my phones. You know I hate it when I'm left on red. But he make it all up in the bed. And he take me out down and on but the best. He got off-white, on right. Damn, he could dress with the pants from the east. Bands in the his bread. And baby, I want it, and I just be honest, cause I just can't front when I look at you. Just keep it 100 when I throw these hundreds. I hope that your ass gon' know what to do. Do it like that. Don't be scared, I ain't afraid. Come my way, cause I like it. That's like.
Make some noise for New Taipei Queens！感谢我们穿得像天使下凡的新北国王啦啦队。
新庄城堡依旧是全联盟最难攻破的主场。今天呢，迎战目前5连胜的高雄17直播钢铁人，捍卫城堡任务就交给所有的禁卫军们了。首先介绍客队高雄17直播钢铁人，2号张杰伟，8号王绿翔，10号王柏志，11号林君豪，18号林志伟，20号孙诗瑶，23号蓝少辅，77号张博伟。接下来为各位介绍先发5人 Starting Five。3号悟空，4号陈佑维，5号温德，7号林书豪，13号吕正如，总教练郑志龙，助理教练洪启超、林婉如，谭义平，总经理高景言。请所有球迷将你们目光移至上方大荧幕。首先为各位介绍 Number 24， 关键打心脏，小胖洪志善。Number 9， 全能后场指挥官，新北标风违规李凯燕。Number 7， 观众哪爱看，小丽林丽人。Number 10， 禁卫军弓箭手，微笑射手剑佑哲。Number 3， 来自国立体大，小敏陈巨南。Number 15， 来自政治大学，小豪郑宇豪。Number 19， 皇家大说，榜哥林金榜。Number 50， 禁卫军门神，护国神 Q， 快是 Davis。接下来为各位介绍新美国先发5人 Starting Five。Number 1， 就这样被你征服 1-on-1， Joseph Lee 林书伟。Number 55。新北直升机年糕 Candy Medical。 Number 17，我大苏喜舒世轩。Number 25，来自政治大学，Omar 小 Q 聂欧马。Finally, Number 6，禁卫军士官长，新北的2位主战士杨志明。中间 Rama 上助理着马卡佩拉许浩成，体能教练刘振宇，首席体能教练张崇熙，数据分析师林振宇，球队经理洪志虎，防务员邱博凯、吴长荣，总经理毛嘉恩，执行长陈信生。
好，我们接下来的时间就是要邀请到我们新北国王啦队 New Taipei Queens 呢，来到我们的场中央，跟大家一起呢为我们新北国王应援。让我们欢迎 New Taipei Queens。好的，今天呢稍微不一样，我们以往的 defense 都是我带着大家喊哈，今天呢我们会有请这个 DJ 项。在中间的部分呢，我们会拉空给大家呢，把你们的声音喊出来。所以今天不管是 defense 或者是 Let's Go Kings， 我们都希望呢，大家可以把你们的声音喊出来，好吗 ？Alright， 那我们来试试看啊。我们先从防守开始，我一样呢会先喊，然后第二个节拍呢再换大家喊哈，麻烦各位了。好，我们时间交给 DJ 上 ，Let's go。
Defense,
Defense, Defense, Defense,
defense, defense, defense,
喊出来
defense, defense,
！Defense,
defense.
Defense， 很好，大家表现得很好，我有听到大家的声音。那我们可以再稍微把声音往上提一点点，在等一下的比赛过程中的时候。那我们现在没关系，就用保持这个音量以及你们的拍上，我们把节奏跟声音稍微打出来就好了。好，接下来呢，下一个就是在我们进攻的时候，也就是我们的 Let's Go Kings。All right， DJ 上 Let's go。
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, seniors and youth. You might think a first versus last in week 24 isn't worth your time, but take stock of the red-hot Kaohsiung 1-7 Live Steelers against the New Taipei Kings here in Xinzhuang. Maybe far apart in terms of the standings, but two teams kind of in some ways treaded in different directions. On one side, of course, you have Joseph Lin leading the Kings in first place, and on the other side, of course, is Jeremy Lin as the Steelers try to make a push ahead. It's the scoreboard watching season. The Kings still at #1, but the Braves beating them last night is now only a 3-game difference. And 20 minutes ago, the Pilots defeated the Dreamers in a matchup of 3rd versus 4th place teams. They could have swapped places if the results were the opposite. And thanks to the Lioneers' loss to the Dreamers on Saturday, the Steelers are now even with the Lioneers in the win-loss column, with the Lioneers edging them out in the head-to-head matchup this season. But with one game to go on the weekend, It's 左崇凯 Kyle and Eddie 张耀宗 on the Mandarin broadcast。球迷朋友们，你找到了 Plus League 的英文转播喽。要看凯哥跟耀宗的转播，当然就按到官方的中文转播连接。谢谢你的收看，记得我们 YouTube 的转播当然都要按赞。On air with me, it's former Steeler and now color commentator Matthew Yang. Good to be on again.
It's awesome to be here. I'm glad to be able to watch this game. Good game. Looking forward to the Steelers versus the Kings.
We got to savor these moments. Not a lot of season left, and you're on to other things too this offseason, aren't you?
Absolutely. In less than 24 hours, I'll be back in the States.
All right, well, let's make it a good broadcast. This is the second matchup between the two Lin brothers. The last game on 2/28, a Tuesday, went the way of the Kings, who own the season series 4-1, which, funny enough, the first game was a loss to the Steelers. Well, the main thing for the Kings right now is how do they shake off yesterday's result, scoring a team low 68 points and a team low about 12% three-point shooting and a team low from the free throw line. We already started yesterday. How does a team shake off a bad game like that? Does a back-to-back help or actually linger in your mind more?
When you put those kind of numbers up, the best thing is just to completely forget about what happened. It's obviously important to reflect, but it's a new day today, and the Kings will look to take advantage of any opportunity that they have.
That breaks the team low of 73 set actually last week against the Lioneers, also on a back-to-back. Well, that was the first of two games. Now, in the second season of the Plus League, the Kings' first ever season, their low was only 80 points. So kind of the stretched out season might be kind of taking a little bit of intensity out of their balloon, but they have locked up at least a playoff position, and as we saw, still have a pretty decent amount gap between them and the Braves if they want to really play for home court advantage, or if maybe they need to prevent the Braves from making a run at that top spot.
The Kings definitely have a small cushion for that first place and that second place position with the Braves. I think the Kings know that they just have to lock in that first spot.
就是有效限制他们的得分在我们的目标之内。那当然在命中率部分确实是不太理想，但是我觉得就是还是要保持信心吧。就是有空档的话，还是要大胆出手，因为第一拍出手永远第一拍出手的命中率永远比第二拍来得高，所以我觉得还是要保持信心。那就是赶快准备今天的比赛。其实3分一直都有在练。那刚开季受伤回来的时候，就是可能自己在信心部分比较不足吧，所以就是会希望自己在其他自己更擅长的地方去帮助球队。那但是其实私底下，像是球队的老大哥他们，或是杨将教练团，或是甚至是毛总他们，就是一直叫我大胆出手。那就是还蛮开心，就是下半季开始有慢慢找回状态，那就是希望可以延续到季后赛。
That was James, or Big Sushi as he's known, Su Sixuan, asked about the performance yesterday of the team. They shared that they did keep the Braves under their score goal, but of course their own shooting percentage were poor. They just got to keep confidence, and asked about his rise in the season. He said as soon as he got healthy from that wrist injury, he kept up his work, but he might have lacked confidence, which he's finally getting, and also sharing about the opportunity to play more minutes on the court. He's happy that he can maybe get in a little bit of rhythm and then continue that under the playoffs. The former player that we caught in the pregame last time was Ling Junhao, who used to be way back when a member of the Taipei Full-On Braves, but last year was a pro in a different league, and partway through the season became the translator and also skills development coach with the Steelers. Lin Guanjun also goes by Oscar.
本来跟老婆跟家人已经讨论是想要回澳洲，可是后来就是想一想，我还是想要留在台湾这个职业篮球的这个环境，因为我觉得可能我可以就是带一些东西来帮助一些球员这样子。我大概是1月加入的，然后球队找我来这边是当个人训练师，然后刚好也是龙哥有请我当他的进攻助理教练，然后就是帮忙翻译这样子，所以这3个工作在做。 我是觉得他的中距离的攻击的方法吧，因为就他自己也知道他也是做了一个很大的调整，可能以前是比较会去冲进去，然后挑战一些大个子，可是他也发现就是那些抛投啊，或者是中距离跳投，对他来是比较轻松的打法，跟就是比较 simple 这样子，然后对他也比较有帮助。
Ling Guanjun sharing that he and his wife considered a move to Australia as soon as his former pro contract concluded. And as the member of the Steelers is a personal skills and offensive assistant for Tony and the staff, of course known for being the translator, sharing that Jeremy Lin's mid-range attack is probably the biggest thing that other players can take away, as he used to take it all the way, which made it a lot harder himself. Well, Jeremy in the 5-game winning streak is scoring 25.5 points per game, 7 rebounds, and even upping his assist numbers to 10 per game. Pretty much everything with these Steelers begins and ends with number 7 out there, their floor general.
Yeah, the Jeremy Lin show for the Steelers is definitely going to be something that's going to be important for the Kings to lock up. The Kings will definitely have a strategy for him. It'll be a different matchup compared to what it was like yesterday against the Fubon Braves.
Ye Junhong, Peng Luhan, and Peng Sixun are the 3 officials for tonight's game.
Yeah, and going back to what I was saying, today it's definitely going to be a more individual performance from Jeremy Lin and how he can pass the ball and move and find his players.
Now the starting lineup for the Steelers with Chen Youwei next to Jeremy Lin, Goku Natason next to Liu Zhenlu in the forward position, and Wendell Lewis jumping center. And on the Kings side, same starting lineup from yesterday in the same set. They've been playing a lot during this most recent stretch without Byron Mullins. Import player from another league in FIBA, they called him, sitting nearby. On the Kings side, of course, I've not got to them yet. It's Joseph Lin, amigo, Su Sixun from Zhenji University, Neoma next to Kenny Manigault. The Kings' other import. Yesterday, of course, the Kings defeated by the Braves in a low-scoring affair, but on a back-to-back, you never know. Now, on the Steelers side, though, interesting enough, they're trying to accomplish a more difficult task themselves as well. They have 2 road games this week. They were already victorious on Friday night against the Pilots in Taoyuan. Well, how difficult is it to take 2 road wins in 1 week? It's only happened 3 times out of 11 so far in the Plus League. 2 by the Braves in 3 tries, and Kings have done it the only time they've went on the road twice. Dreamers 0 for 3, Lioners 0 for 1, and the Pilots 0 for 3. The Steelers in their Southside jersey and the Kings in their yellow alternative set, as a little bit of delay in the game as the head of the officiating crew taking a look at the alignment of the rim as Kenny Manigault tries to shake it a little bit, and some of the table staff trying to also push the basket into alignment. I mean, yesterday kind of made a difference, at least when it came to the Kings shooting on both sides of the floor, really. But we might have even more of a delay. And I think it was Ling Bingsun, the Taiwanese player playing in the Chinese CBA. So indeed, just a few moments away from an official delay of the game as they get more of the table staff to go help out.
Yeah, today will be an interesting matchup because the Kings played pretty solid defense against the Braves. It was their offense that was struggling. They were pretty good in their perimeter defense as well as on-ball defense. And the Braves actually play a very balanced attack, which makes them hard to defend. But today, the Steelers will definitely be running through Jeremy Lin and Jerry Chen. So we'll see how the Kings match up against them and how the Steelers will move the ball and look for open opportunities.
I think to maybe give the Kings fans some confidence is they have not lost back-to-back games yet on the season. Of course, face this situation right here as off camera, but Kenny Manigault giving a hearty thanks to the table staff and the Kings staff who went over to help out. The Kings did clinch a playoff spot back on March 28th against the Pilots at home, so they've not, I can't say they've been in cruise control, but they've certainly been the top team in the league and have had good control of their own destiny the whole way through. There we have the tip. Taiyong, number 4, goes by Jerry in his draft paperwork. Down to Lewis. A quick double, and he still stuffs it in.
Right there, the Steelers going into their drag screen, and then Jeremy Lin coming up for what we call the Spain pick and roll. He was open, but Wendell Lewis had the open look down in the paint and was able to get that turnaround floater.
Kenny Manigault guarded by Goku Natason. Quick pass to Big Sushi, but in and out.
Again, Sushi finding that open space. He's playing aggressive and playing confidently.
Good hand by Kenny Manigault. You got to watch out whenever he's on defense. Probably the best, most talented defensive player we've seen, certainly on the perimeter in the Plus League this season.
I mean, up close, he's a huge player to play against.
Jeremy runs into a wall and takes a hard fall on his rear end, so it leads to a Kings break. Joe to Amigo through the middle. He lays it in softly.
Good help defense from the Kings led to a transition opportunity, and Joe Lin finding Amigo.
Out to Jerry, he quick fire 3, buries it.
Good
Point
patience.
guard.
Good patience by Jeremy Lin to hold off his defender, and Chen locates towards the ball and finds the open 3.
Amigo on the curl as maybe a quick whistle there. I think Jeremy probably a little bit more sensitive given that he had 5 fouls in the Friday game against the Pilots, which probably hampered him.
You can see him speaking English to the ref, saying that there wasn't a foul there. Not sure if the message got through, but we'll definitely keep an eye on his foul.
Quickly to Omar. Doesn't get up shot off cleanly, but it will be free throws.
So 2 quick fouls by the Steelers. Just a minute and a half, less than a minute and a half to go into the split.
Fouls by number 13 and Captain Chen. Now to use some of the officiating jargon that myself and some of our Plus League colleagues have picked up, there was contact on that foul by Jeremy, though Jeremy might argue there was no possession consequence. So maybe the referees could have cut him some slack. Well, that's all up to the referee's discretion then. First shot missed, and the second one bounces out harshly. In yesterday's game, Omar also got the start and did not attempt any free throws, so he did miss a mid-range shot. Lewis already scored once with the left hand, stopped. Here come the Kings in transition. You know they want to run, especially without Byron, but the pass through the crowd and into the seats.
That's where the Kings hurt themselves a little bit yesterday. Right there, Manigault telling his big man Omar to run quicker down the lane. That'll allow the defense to shrink, and then Amigo would have had an open opportunity, but not a great pass from Manigault.
Pistol step from the Steelers as Jeremy high archer is a little short. And there again, Taiyong, traditionally the point guard of the Steelers, but of course ceding to Jeremy, who finds a gap and gets the 2 points.
Right there, Jeremy just lowering his shoulder, dicing and slicing into the lane.
Ooh, I like that. Amigo thought twice about it as James has to track down the loose ball. Now he'll try to pull up close, but no. This time Amigo tries to snatch the ball away from the backside. He commits the foul against Jeremy. Another look at the tight finish. And Jeremy explained too, as he finds Goku Natason going backdoor.
Right now, the Steelers have really shown that they've been building their chemistry right there, both on the same page. Saw the play before it even happened.
Joe working into the mid-range, floats it up, but off the mark. Quickly the other way, it's Jerry blowing the layup as Joseph Lin came back in time. That's one of those stops that might not result in a block, but certainly the coaches and your teammates appreciate. Second opportunity for the Kings as Joseph Lin passes out. Amigo to Big Sushi.
Right there, Captain Lou caught asleep. A good pass by Amigo.
Quick start for the Steelers as Lewis out to Natesa. Dribble, then the shot. Yes!
Steelers coming off where they left off right there. Getting Wendell into the post and then finding an open three. That's what their identity has been this past 5 games in their win streak.
Manigault, skip pass to James. Time to three himself, got it. Big Sushi in yesterday's game had 11 points. 1 for 4 shooting the 3-ball. Now on this side, Lewis can get 2 assists per game as Toyowe kind of tackles Sushi there.
Tough pass by Goku.
There you see again the 45-degree shot. Now I'm kind of curious, Matthew, how come big guys get shots from the top of the arc more so than in the corners, where you think you can make it easier on those shooters who probably haven't been shooting threes as much as their guard counterparts?
Well, obviously there are what we call lanes in the full court, and so bigs are usually in that center.
And one for Big Sushi as he's feeling it. An early 7 points just like last night. This time taking number 77 Zumbleway to school. Jumping through and using the left hand, his offhand. One of the big additions for the Kings, as headed by James Maw on the basketball side. Jeremy quickly to the hoop, stopped by Joe. No whistle there as Omar gets it out for the Kings.
Jeremy Lin trying to tell the officials there was a foul.
Amigo getting Omar's screen. Out to James, but stopped this time. Joe maneuvering right, floats it up. That side spinner off target.
Joe has been really impressive in the pick and roll. He's able to get space.
Now Weber putting his head down. Out to Goku with a step back, already one. Can't make it 2, but Amigo crashes into him. Trying to argue the leg kick, but looks like Amigo made contact with the torso. So maybe on the leg. Oh, Amigo might have a case, but in the end, it's 2 fouls for number 6. Well, just like yesterday, we got a quick start to the rhythm of the game and our first commercial break of this one, Kings and Steelers in Xinzhuang.
Love it when I poke it out in that fake sleep. Hit it from the back, making beats like taking. Girl, he love it. I'ma shake it like dice. Wrapped around my finger, eating booty from the bite. Booty make him cry, booty make a nigga swipe. Booty walk him in the store and tell him hurry up and buy. Shake what you got to get. It's a lot of bitches wishing they could see me there. Shake what you got to get. I'ma make him pay the second round of this BBL. Who else got an ass like you? Who else throwing back like you? What else make them mad like you? What else make them act like this? Yeah, I know you like me.
Like it up for the Lin Brothers Battle 2.0 and also the Taipei Queens concluding their first quarter performance. in the early going. This is the Steelers up 12-9 against the home team in the Kings. To kind of tie a bow on that recap of the last game where the Kings won 101-88. Obviously billed as the Jeremy versus Joseph showdown, but it was Byron Mullins, 32 points, 17 rebounds, and Amigo Yang Jiming, 29 points and 8 3-pointers made, kind of stealing the show. Though, to be fair, Joseph played a pretty decent part with his first 10 assist game of the Plus League, only shooting 4 for 18. Maybe we'll see something different in tonight's matchup.
Right now, the Steelers going into a lot of their early offense sets. Their pistol offense and their double drag screens. An offense that really allows Jeremy Lin to have a lot of options, whether that's to drive downhill or find his open players, and that's what he does so well.
Tayson had Friday off as it was Lewis and Femi Olujobi, the 2 imports for the Steelers. Knocks 2 of 3 down. Meanwhile, on the Kings side, they're staying nice and spaced on the outside as they will hang on to that possession, though. Jeremy had his hand in the cookie jar.
Right there,
had a pick.
Manigault and Omar. Spacing was a little off in that exchange, and that caused Joe Lin not as much space on that right baseline.
Joe again passing out of a face-to-face with his brother, and a missed 3 by fresh in the game JJ. After eventually scrambling for the rebound, here comes Jeremy. Skip pass right over the fingertips of Manigault as Weber throws the 3.
Right there, another assist for Jeremy Lin. Saw him right from the start.
Joseph in the mid-range with a touch. He is one of the best floater guys in the game, in the Plus League in particular. And of course, that's what Oscar kind of mentioned about Jeremy on the other side, as Lewis trying to rise above Omar.
Yeah, when you have a brother that can kind of show you the ropes, both of their games will look pretty similar.
Joe will practice 3-point range. Might have. Nope, the referees don't say block. They'll go the Steelers' way as pretty predictably Coach Marchand getting Quincy Davis in early. Along with number 19, Lin Jingfang. Only sub for the Steelers is Captain Liu for Weber.
Right there, going to their fist offense.
Spin move and tough take. It's going to be a miss for number 7. Moving down the floor, Joe looking for his teammates. JJ on the curl, moving left. And again, the Kings are struggling from the field. A lot of pressure on Jeremy far out. Maybe the crowd being a little bit shy. Making noise as Jeremy nails it from the top.
Right there, high pick and roll. Knows that if the screen is going to be set, he'll have an open opportunity and just pulls up.
Getting the screen from Hughes. Joseph will try, but it's halfway down and out.
Joseph starting very aggressive.
To Tayson, he shows him how it's done. Another 3. And it's a early 23-11 run, and a healthy dose of applause from the fans here at Jingzhuang.
Here the Kings show their double drag.
Manigault hitting the shot clock support, and it'll be out of bounds.
Right now the Kings are playing in more of their individual player kind of offense, where just coming off the screen and pulling up. The problem with that is that when you miss a shot like that, it's really hard to gain momentum, as opposed to the Steelers balancing their attack with a mix of plays, transition, and now you see a 12-point lead.
Number 20, Mouse, or Sun Siyao, is in as Manigault jumps the pass, smartly anticipating the action. And a foul call that goes the Steelers' way. Has kind of a funny back and forth where Jeremy borrowed Natason to demonstrate the foul. I think it'll just be a foul on number 9, Lee Kai-yin, who is not exactly the player they were referring to. But that weak side hand hook has been something the referees have been catching a little bit more in the 3rd season. Jeremy trying to drive on cue, hesitates, clutches, misses off glass.
From up close, the officials have definitely been letting them play.
A little touch pass, but it ends up with Lee Jingbang. He'll try for 3. As the Kings now only 1 for 6 from the perimeter. Quick pass in, former teammates in Mouse and Q, back when they were both pilots in the inaugural season. We'll stay with the Steelers. There you see Joseph on the bench, getting some rest. Natason, quick fire 3 from the corner. He's on fire. And that forces a timeout by the Kings, who once again seeing a big deficit as early as the 1st quarter. Not much they can do though when the hot shooting Steelers come in with a quick fire 3 like that, but a miscommunication on defense on the inbounds play.
Koko has been very impressive. He's been taking 3s when he has open looks, but he's also able to score off the dribble too.
Oh, we kind of jumped the gun here because our partners at Formosa Television. On the left is Joseph Lin with 10 points, 10 assists, on the February 28 matchup, taking the victory. And Jeremy, 23 points, 6 assists. Though maybe the blemish is he also had 6 turnovers in that game, and also was 0 for 6 shooting the 3-pointer. The Steelers were led by the combo of Olujobi and Kratsov, who had 18 apiece on the import side of things. Well, the interesting note about the kind of imbalanced schedule in terms of home and away, the Kings actually play the Steelers, including today, 3 times for the rest of the season. So not the 1 seed locked up, but Coach Marchand and even the Braves with Coach Roger have shared maybe they want to rotate a lot more other guys to get more experience in preparation for their back-end guys in the playoffs. So if you're the Steelers, obviously you want to win every game, but maybe you're going up against a team without Byron Mullins to injury and a rotational side. There's some opportunity out there to sneak into the playoff picture.
As we know, the reigning champs Vermont Braves, they play a very balanced offense. And so it'll be a good opportunity for young players to show their value.
Mouse stops Manigault at the rim as Natason from the LP logo shot fakes but passes it off. And a bad decision by Jerry. It's going to lead to a turnover. Lee Kai-yin over to good bud JJ from the left corner. Again, a close miss. So anyway, tracks down the long rebound, but flails it right to the hands of Kenny Manigault. This time he gets the foul going to the hoop.
2 consecutive turnovers for Jerry, very uncharacteristic of him. But right there, kind of caught in the air, and so he had just to throw it up. Kenny Manigault earns the 2 shots at the line.
Yesterday was held to just 13 points as he was averaging about 23, 24 points in Byron Mullins' absence.
Right now the Kings have their point guards in Manigault and Lee Kai-yin, but they're more like scoring guards. And so in terms of getting their offense going, they'll need to find more, they'll have to have more patience and look for players to be able to get more players involved.
Jerry as the Steelers set up in their horn set, but the Kings deny the first session, and then Q jumps the pass. I think we'll see that a lot in this game. Everybody trying to jump in and reach with that backhand.
Well, this is where they miss Jeremy Lin, with Jeremy Lin on the bench.
As JJ flies in and gets the putback. Don't see that a lot out of number 10.
With Jeremy Lin on the bench, you see players getting deflections. That's another one right there. A little shaky with the passing.
Taking the handoff as Mouse struggles through, and he will get the whistle. A little nervous look on Lee Kai-yen's face, but it's going to be Ling Jingbang. And a look at JJ flying in from the opposite corner. That's where those opportunities could show up, especially with the defender not in position to really box you out on the weak side.
Yeah, JJ's been always a very energy kind of player. Can shoot threes, but he's really willing to crash the boards.
Mouse has seen a major increase in his playing minutes after being traded over, or should I say, joining the Steelers once again. Bouncing out that second one. Really reached the top of the pecking order for the Steelers' local bigs. He's guarding Ling Jingbang in the dunker spot. He's cleared. We'll try for a second time, but it bounces out. Jeremy taking it into the post-up area, but another miss.
Jeremy Lin plays with so much pace. He knows when to be quick and then knows when to slow down, and he's able to always get some good looks in that mid-range area.
Only a 2-for-8 start as Quincy Davis rails the three.
And that's what they probably need more of tonight if they're going to look to win this game.
Going baseline, but stopped. As is Captain Liu. Much smaller Lee Kai-yen. Got a step. Now stepping through. Missing the layup as Wendell Lewis couldn't exactly secure the catch.
Good second and third effort by the Steelers. But I believe Ling Jingbang able to get a hand on that and prevent the 2 points. Or was it Q?
The deflection on the inbounds. Here come the Kings. Chance to close it to single digits. Number 24, backup guard Venti, veteran player.
Somewhat of a mismatch here.
Ling Jingbang from the right corner this time. Still can't line it up. Jeremy cutting through the entire lane and gets the lay-in. And coming down, trying to get a whistle too. Nobody stopped ball, the most classic attribute as JJ finally drills the three.
Now on that coast to coast from Jeremy Lin, he never stopped one bit, kept the ball high up and just elevated.
Getting the Lewis screen. And there's an early whistle. Will be a ball out of bounds though. The Steelers should be getting bonus free throws. And they will as you get another look at number 10, Chinyota, with 5 points to the start of his game. Second on the team to Big Sushi. And the Steelers will be going a little smaller with Mouse out for Natason. Switch for Jeremy at the line. Not a lot of Kings fans trying to distract Jeremy. In their losses, he's held to still 20 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists. Impressive numbers, but those turnovers go up to about 6 per game. And he's only 1 for 14 shooting the three. For a little reference, as the Kings bring in Amigo for a final offensive possession.
You can see Jeremy Lin always communicating with his teammates every time down the court.
Liu Zhenlu giving space, now stuck behind a screen as Jeremy up to captain, beating the clock. The shot is up, but short. Could have really broke the game open, but as it stands right now, the Steelers 31-20. Good start to their game here in 102 of 120 here in the Plus League.
欢迎来到我们体育馆，跟着我们的镜头做一个，哎呦，有练的有练，最近在钓鱼啊。今天很多艺人朋友来到现场，啊，雨辰这个没问题的，学长学长 ，Hello， 欢迎我们来到新庄体育馆，来秀出你的肌肉，可以啊。 哎，有了，这个身材有在练。穿背心的朋友们要注意了，来了，注意大荧幕哦，我们在找你。哎 ，PLEAGUE 的朋友们，秀出你们的 muscle。Let's go。哇，哎，今天很多小朋友也来到现场，哎呦。 来，秀出你的肌肉！哇，林庭谦也来到现场，是不是？哎呦，好久没看到你。今天很多穿背心的朋友哦，秀出你们的 muscle。来嘛，没事的。派一个代表，哎，可以。两个人至少派一个代表。 来秀出你的 muscle。哎，李毅来到现场了，还有我们 Chris 也是有在练的，这个二头肌不得了。
Welcome back to the broadcast. The +League Instagram count is 10,000 followers from 150,000. P.LEAGUE.official with the blue check mark. That's us. It is announced to be a sellout crowd here in Xinzhuang. 6,800 strong on hand to watch the Steelers and Kings.
Yeah, full house all the way up to the nosebleeds. All here to get a look of Jeremy Lin.
JJ faking right and moving left. This is it though for Lee Kai-yin to get partially blocked by Natason. Now we have a break for Venti. Taking it away, playing safety back there as Kyle distracted by Jeremy's defense. Also trying to get a whistle on that one.
Going into their Spain pick and roll.
I haven't said Little Lou's name very much. He dishes it down to Lewis. Spin move and easy finish.
Good look away by Wendell. For a second, tricked his defender and is able to turn the corner, turn spin move and get the easy layup.
JJ will try for 45, but short, as here come the Steelers on the break. Little pulling up as Wendell Lewis stuffs it in. Not exactly a putback dunk, but he certainly got nice and high for it.
The Steelers have really been running in transition, and you're just going to get those kind of looks when you run down the court.
Lewis had one of those nice spin moves on that same right-handed block in a key bucket to get the Steelers the victory over the Pilots. So that should definitely be in everybody's scouting report. This time taking on even a big, like Big Sushi there.
Great footwork, very agile. A good addition for the Steelers team.
Down to Big Sushi as Natason strips him. And a foul in transition as the Kings continuing to have words with the referees. That one was clean. There's a foul in the transition effort.
You can see Coach Marchand repeating the phrase, "What are you watching?" Obviously doesn't agree with the call. Now they go back their double drag. Jeremy using his first screen.
Floating it up to Lewis, who comes down with his stumbles and still puts it in.
The Steelers do a really good job letting Jeremy work in a lot of space so he can decide whether to use the screen to reject the screen or use one of the screens. Has a lot of options to make him really hard to guard.
Natason putting the pressure on Lee Kai-yin. And blocked again. That's two for number 3 in Natason. Another look. Floating up to Lewis. Maybe a little too far for an alley, but comes down and finishes the play off as Jeremy and Captain Liu will head off together.
Goku has been showing off his offense and defensive energy.
Q makes it 2 in a row himself. Another 3 from deep. Goku now trying out his dribble moves. He fires quickly. That's no good as Q to JJ on the rebound. Century now fresh in the game. Early post-up foul. Big Sushi. Kind of rare that even import players will try to get post-up on by the locals, but maybe Big Sushi got some skillful hand fighting in there. Hand off to Jungnan. Trying to look for him again, but the pass is deflected.
That pass wasn't there to begin with.
Going to Lewis again, but Manigault jumps it. They'll force it to take it out of bounds.
Q telling Jungnan, lob it up to him because the bounce pass wasn't there as the Steelers closed up on that quick.
The 37-23 lead. Down to Lewis on the left block this time against Q. The jump hook will be in and out.
Hook was there, good look. Just goes in and out.
Stripped, and now Manigault turns it over, though he pokes it out of bounds towards us here at the broadcast table. JJ will finally get a rest for Amigo. A little bit of motion from the Steelers. Kings deny everything until this ball pick and roll. 5 seconds left as Amigo brushes it out of bounds.
Right there, I think Wendell Lewis would have been a better option on that roll, but Goku tries to hit the corner guy, gets the deflection. Steelers basketball slide out of bounds.
A lot of short rest for Jeremy. That seems to be their strategy.
Yeah, you definitely don't want him to get cold, but you want to give him some energy.
1 second left. He floats it up, but it's off. Quickly back to Manigault. He'll try for 3. It's airballed. I guess this might not be the ideal time to bring up yet. I won't then. Yesterday he did not hit any 3s. We'll just put it like that. Still got plenty of game left to try to get his first. Omar back in. This time, Trina didn't put that much pressure on Jeremy, but could not find a drive. Now working with the screen. Stops, fakes 2. Gets the pass off to Little Lou. He'll try the step back himself and swishes it.
Lewis, great three-pointer. Gives Jeremy Lin the assist.
Up close, but turned away by Swensia. Stays vertical through the play as the Steelers will get a chance. Little 3-on-3 is Mouse with the left hand, rolls it in softly. And another timeout called by the Kings. They want to get some subs in, but right now they need to get refocused. It's a big lead for the Steelers on the road against the #1 Kings.
来玩我们中场的小游戏。那接到球的朋友呢，记得等一下要到我们商品部旁边的主题周摊位啊。好的，我们现在呢特别派出我们这位帅哥呢，他的臂力非常的强。 我们看看3楼哪一边的声音比较大，我们就把球往那边丢。3楼的朋友给我一点尖叫声好不好？
啊，能够传。
哇！这边3楼的朋友给我一个尖叫声，太夸张了。以后就麻烦他帮我丢了。
Couldn't even tell you to quickly get over here to Xinzhuang, as it is a capacity crowd here for the home of the Kings. As we keep on mentioning, the #1 team in the league, but they were previously 4-2 in the absence of Byron Mullins, but took a loss yesterday to the Braves and have so far looked sluggish against the Steelers.
Right now, a lot of one-and-done plays for the New Taipei Kings. Not really getting clean looks. On the other hand, the Steelers really sharing the ball, and now this lead is getting larger and larger.
Joe's back in the game on the seat next to the score table to check in before they called the timeout, as Amigo leaves that fadeaway short.
Another air ball by the Kings.
Jerry looking for the corner, and Manigault didn't even really have the defense on, but almost caused a turnover just the same.
There, Jerry wants the pick and roll.
Field side from way downtown turns into a run-out opportunity for the Kings. Manigault with the tough finish. And just like that, it's a timeout for the Steelers. Joseph Flynn, you see if they get an assist, maybe, depend on the scorer's table, as Kenny Manigault, even too much physically for Jeremy down there. Kenny Manigault with 3 points on the game as we listen into the Steelers timeout.
我呢不是在看那个分数啊，我们对于那个节奏控制不住啊，要打得合理，打得合理，不要急，篮板抓到，你看看有人球传出来再来嘛，不要想要一下子就把它打垮了，然后看到分数在追了，自己好像没有贡献，然后嘛又要赶快进来，按部就班做事，掌握节奏。 好，防守篮板来看着，
Now it's only their first called timeout of the half, but I'm kind of curious as to maybe the motivations for why Chen Zilong or the head coach Tony would call a timeout, even though he has his floor general Jeremy Lin in the game, and not maybe utilize him for at least another couple possessions.
Right there, Coach Longa just reminding his players, look, don't just rush into the play. If you get the rebound and get it out and get to another look, first set up your offense. The spacing needs to be there before you really attack. It's important, yes, you want to have an attack-minded offense, but you have to have the right spacing and the right timing. Right there, just reminding his players to just settle down a bit and play right basketball.
Backdoor, but tipped away by Manigault, guarding Jeremy. They try the deep two. Bounce to Lewis, who's stumbling through, getting it to a more sure-handed guard. The fake look, but passing it into the turnover. Number 7, as on the other side, it's Kenny Manigault who can't connect with his teammates. And, well, I don't think we've ever seen him play without the headband, but we're getting a chance right now.
Well, you know a lot about headbands. In the NBA, they do those stats where headband Manigault versus unheadband. Let's see.
Ah, he tries to jump the pass, leaving Little open for 3. He cans the second one.
Well, right now, no headband Manigault is a -3, so we'll see how he does in this offensive possession.
2 for 2 from beyond the arc. Little Lou. Crashing into Amigo, though, as did not have a good defensive possession after scoring another 3. They're trapped behind the Omar screen. Substitutions to get Quincy Davis and Steve on. A lot of adjustments being made between Amigo and Joseph before these free throws. Probably should have adjusted his own free throw shooting.
Free throws was an issue last night for the Kings, and it continues to be one tonight.
That's right. We showed in the pregame graphics only 46%. To get into the specifics, that was 13 for 28.
The early offense.
Tayson going down to Lewis, but Joseph jumps the pass. Leaves it for Amigo, who takes it to the house. Well, at least get a foul out of it, and it's Jeremy there on the back trying to plead his case for an offensive foul. Well, take another look from the baseline. There's Amigo. Well, the hard argument against Jeremy is that Amigo already took the contact before his right hand did any movement.
Right there in the replay, you saw Jeremy Lin did go straight up, but it's called for the foul, and he's trying to communicate with the refs. I think that's really important. He showed that he's willing to communicate with the refs, and that's really important for a leader like him. You have to know how to play the game the right way and play smart. And refs are a part of the game.
So Amigo may be finding a little bit more rhythm. He was only 1 for 4 in yesterday's contest from the line. Lee Kai-in will join as presumably this is the best 5 for the Kings right now. Steelers are also relatively small with only Lewis at the big position. Out to Gokun and Tayson. How could you leave him open? That's a blunder on Lee Kai-in's part. And the lead is 20. And Tayson already with 16 points in the first half. Hugh underneath, stopped by the Steelers wall. Quickly down the floor. Out to Jeremy. He'll try to sink it. So close.
Yeah, and Tayson has been really impressive playing within his...
Quincy Davis fouled from behind. He almost got the putback. We'll have to earn it from the line. And I thought, as I was saying, this would be the best Kings lineup, but they make a defensive blunder like that. You see Hugh maneuvering around Lewis for the board.
Kings continue to struggle on offense.
Now the crew chief still talking with the Kings bench, too. As one thing is definitely happening with all this quote-unquote communication is that the Kings are definitely slowing the pace of this game down. Now, given that the Steelers have a lead and have had more runs, kind of makes sense.
I think right now the Kings just need to figure out how they can get more better looks on offense. Struggling in these 2 games.
Jeremy with the runner this time. Long rebound all the way out to Captain Lou. Fires down low. Pretty crisp passing from the Steelers, even though there's no shots yet. Yowei on the catch.
Steelers really moving without the ball, sharing the basketball. Gets a good look, but doesn't fall.
Joe jabs, then tries from deep. They'll turn to a fast break. The Tayson hesitating, clutching, and he'll get the foul. And of course, frustrated Lee Kai-in. Missed that defensive assignment last time. Thought he was vertical here. Get another look at it. Looks like Jeremy will get credit if the free throws are good, and that has to be an A to B foul. That is not a clean defensive play. It'll be 3 on Lee Kai-yen, though. So Natason will step up to the line. This might be a spot that actually might be less lethal than his three-point shooting for sure. Getting a heartfelt talk from fellow Bay Area native and Jeremy. Natason is a 77% free throw shooter coming into today. Actually uses no legs in that one. The lead is 19. The Kings have surpassed yesterday's halftime score in total, but that's only 28. Hugh fakes Lewis in the air, now drives, kick to Kyle. Choose to take it in and shoot the mid-range.
Right now the Kings have really been second-guessing themselves, taking tough looks and not capitalizing on other open shots.
Jason in the air, out to Liu quick fire 3. Don't think he's taken that many shots in the game. In fact, that's only his second. Jeremy swoops in for the steal. Secures the basketball as Toyoe goes quickly to the cup.
Right there, Jerry Chen very aggressive on that baseline drive. Saw me go coming, but he just said, I'm gonna elevate higher, and gets the layup.
Down low as Natason kind of unlucky, but will be called for the hold.
Right now the Kings have been utilizing their early drag screens, but they're not really finding open looks and just catch themselves looking at the ball and running around in circles. And that's what's been leading to their poor efficiency and a low-scoring first half, just like yesterday.
Quincy Davis again at the line, taking the spot of the leading scorer for the Kings now with 8. But on the Kings side, of course, Natason 17, Jeremy with 9, and even Lewis with 8. As our assistant there gives an extra look and an extra swipe to the hardwood to keep it dry. You on the second attempt, yes. One tricky thing is, wonder how much is in the tank for the Kings, as Coach Marchand does like to get some more full court. Lee Kai-yen got a touch as Joseph crashed into Jerry. And it looks like another whistle might be a technical against the Kings. Now, as much as the Kings are arguing, the referees might be siding on the player safety side. See the deflection by Lee Kai-yen. They've been jumping that every time.
Good read by Lee Kai-yen.
You could say it was unlucky, but definitely the contact with Joseph is the one that's a little bit more dangerous. So Lee Kai-yen now with 4 to his personal total. As much as the Steelers like that pistol look, the Kings have been jumping it almost every time and causing deflections, and they might be lucky here, but look for that to change in the second half.
Yeah, right there, Jerry Chen has more experience to know not to make that pass. At the free throw line on the other end, they had already called their play, and I'm sure Kings are well aware of those plays, and that entry pass was read from a mile away, and Lee Kai-yen read it first. Unfortunate for Jerry Chen to get undercut like that. Hope he's okay though.
They'll stay in the game for now. You can imagine he's going to get even more pressure by Joseph. Lee Kai-yen's turn to guard Jeremy, and there's a whistle. It will be his 5th. Now, the only thing the Kings really can argue is if Jeremy commits the flop. I I would say of all the fouls, that one might be the most unlucky for Lee Ka-yin.
Fans don't like the call. Coach Marchand doesn't like the call.
Pretty predictable that the Steelers would go right at Lee Ka-yin, though. They're going to leave him in the game for now. Miss first as Mrs. and Mr. Lin sitting on the floor level. A 1-for-2 trip.
This is where focus becomes really important. Definitely the Kings running on somewhat of an emotional high, but it's important for them to close out these 2.5 minutes strong if they want to have a chance.
Deflected pass falls out of bounds as Joseph could not secure it. And now it's actually the Steelers who are trying to get Liu Zhenlu out for Little Lou.
Full court press.
2 seconds left to get it over timeline. They do, but Manigault right on top of things. This time it's a travel. So this time, actually, Manigault playing it smart and kind of pulling the, what do you fall into? Pulling the couch out of Jeremy to lead to that travel, but quickly, get the Kings back on offense. Jeremy from Q. Manigault driving right, losing the handle, and they'll stay out of bounds.
Manigault has been playing very aggressive, but sometimes that doesn't really go into your favor when the defense knows that you're just going downhill going for a layup.
Yeah, you saw in that replay, 2 or even 3 guys were reaching in. Jeremy rejects the screen, but stopped by Manigault. Little Lou from about 22 feet. Be out of bounds for the Kings.
Even though the Steelers didn't score there, the Steelers have been doing very well in reversing the ball, and so they're able to catch the Kings off guard with those blindside pick and rolls. And that's how the Kings need to play, get the ball moving from side to side and look to take advantage when they have a numbers advantage.
Hip check by Jeremy against Joseph, but okay, now he's not that mad about the foul. There'll be free throws for the Kings.
Just a little bit of brotherly love right there. You can see Jeremy Lin saying my bad on that, sticking his hip out.
Made first from Joseph Lin. 3 on his evening. But only a 1-for-2 trip. Joe has taken over for Kyle in the starting spot. This is his 30th. That time Manigault forced the backcourt violation.
Right now the Steelers have been a little shaky with their entry passes, with their guard-to-guard handoffs. Kings are being ultra aggressive. Look for some backdoor opportunities to kind of tame this Kings aggressive defense.
Amigo out to Q. As JJ from center field knocks it down.
Right there, Lewis doesn't put a hand up, and James is able to hit the 3. He only had 4 seconds on the shot clock, not many opportunities, and capitalizes.
Timeout by the Steelers as you get in a look, him going under. And JJ is one of those shooters in Taiwan that at least has the one dribble pull-up that's pretty strong, relatively speaking, as we listen into the Steelers timeout.
一直被卡，一直被卡，不要再走那里了，可不可以？换个方式啊！一个是转换进攻要继续跑，我们现在都慢慢的想要打那个 early offense， 先做转换进攻，没有的话，我们可以做 fix 嘛，半场可以做什么？这样子大家都在动，现在他用不到啊，他在那边跑来跑去，跑来跑去，台湾用不到啊，我们球不掉啊，fix 也可以啊，然后呢半场。
1 minute 07 left on the clock. It was a bright and sunny day today. Yesterday it was a little bit on the drizzly slide, so our chance to say get yourself a sample or simple PLG rotating fan available on all major online stores here in Taiwan. No subs for the Kings. And no changes for the Steelers as they try to manage the rest of 67 seconds of the first half. Jeremy still shaded by Manigault. The run into a good screen by Lewis. Tapped off the spot as Joseph came over to help. Taiyongwei left open from the left corner, well short. And a stop for the Kings.
Look for a 2-for-1 opportunity by the Kings.
They do a lot of that end of quarter math in their practices. JJ, there's a long two we're talking about. It's good.
Right there, a little miscommunication on that exchange with Joseph and JJ, but they will capitalize on that mid-range jumper.
Just about a second difference shot clock in first half. Lewis screens on the left side as Jeremy spins, passes into Tayson from 30 feet off the mark. And from half court, Manigault with a less than ideal try, but the Kings show a little bit more fight for that end of the second quarter. Still down big against the Steelers on the road. We'll be going to halftime. Second half in 15 minutes, but after a break, we'll break things down.
总共呢会有四位观众朋友，两两一组哦。好，在我们中场游戏开始之前呢，让我们一起欢迎药师健生活的蔡药师，以及呢我们的全国健力选手、知名健身 YouTuber， 让我们欢迎黄世仁。麻烦两位请上台。好的，我们的球迷朋友请听好，接下来我们将要进行突破 PR 上篮挑战的活动。那我们要来为诸位讲解游戏规则，非常简单，我们会分成两组哈，两两一组。然后我们呢第一组是这个蔡药师队，那我们第二组呢是我们的世伦队。那我们呢各组会带领2名球迷呢，每人轮流从3分线运球上篮，上篮成功之后回来翻1张牌，才能把球传给队友，以此类推。上篮3分线上篮，然后跑回来翻牌传球，3个动作 ，OK 吗？然后我们只要是翻到 PR 或者是突破这2个字呢，就是把牌翻着就好。你只要把这2个字翻好，就是成功通过游戏哈。 好，但是没有关系，反正我们有这个蔡药师跟我们的4轮，昨天呢他们也有经历过这个游戏了。好，我们呢相信他们两个可以带着你们获胜。好，那我们就请这个蔡药师跟4轮，要不要先猜一个拳，选一下队友？剪刀手布，哎，慢出。好，那我们先请蔡药师选择你的队友。好的，是我们的这边这2位，麻烦呢到我们的蔡药师身后。那我们就先请这个4轮队先攻喽。好的，好，对，进了回来就可以翻牌了，记得要把球带回来哦。好，麻烦到我们的3分线做准备。好，我们另外一队也可以先看着这个对方哦，看一下战略。好了，这位朋友，你准备好了吗？我们是以速度最快的为优胜哦。来，准备，3、2、1，出发！好球，我们赶快跑回来，把球传出去。OK， 翻牌。哦，第一开就翻到突破了。现在只要找出 PR， 你们就是最速通关了。9进，还非常可惜。好，我们要把牌搬回去。好的，4人的动作也非常的快，4人9进会被翻出啊，非常可惜啊。哎，没关系，再来，不，要上篮成功，来，加快你的速度，好球！
全城荣耀 is the special theme weekend here at Xinzhuang, or the home of the new Taipei Kings. Down big again at halftime. Zhou Songkai and Zhang Yaozong on the Mandarin broadcast. I'm Chen, joined by Matthew Yang on the English side of things. As we said before, the Kings have not had back-to-back losses so far in the season, and are right now see the Steelers in the driver's spot. There's the combined team statistics where they're shooting a little bit better from 3, but allowing 9 for 17 is not a deal to having a good start to the basketball game. And one other thing that certainly will be a little bit of a concern is the inside post play. The Kings commit a lot of defense down the middle when Jeremy drives, and on the other side, they don't get hardly any but maybe Big Sushi with some inside touches, and so it makes them pretty one-dimensional to guard.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, the difference with the Steelers is that they have Wendell Lewis able to run straight down the lane, and that allows for open players along those wings and those corners, and they can just attack hard closeouts and able to get better looks, as opposed to the Kings just playing in more of a one-dimensional set, just coming off screens and pulling up. It's hard to play when you go one and done on offense, and the other team has transition opportunities where obviously Jeremy Lin is the floor general and the leader for this team, able to share the ball, and right now the Steelers playing very balanced.
One other kind of note that the Kings started dialing up a lot more full court man-to-man, a lot of full court pressure, and they did cause 5 turnovers in the second quarter, and a lot of those live ball. But I'm wondering if they can keep that up for the rest of the game, having played on a back-to-back where the Steelers not perfectly rested, only 1 day off between their last game against the Pilots. I wonder who will be fresher in the second half.
I think Coach Marchand saw something in their players where when they pressure the Steelers guards, such as Jerry Chen and Goku, that they can be a little shaky with their decision making. And I think that's going to be one of the ways that they can break into this lead. And I think Coach Marchand will be motivating his players to be aggressive on the defensive end and look to have easier offensive opportunities.
We'll bring you leading scores after this next break.
好，恭喜你们各获得各1箱 PR 能量饮。谢谢我们的4轮，也谢谢我们的蔡老师，谢谢，也谢谢我们所有参与的观众朋友，谢谢你们。 好，紧接着呢，我们每一场活动呢，我们都会抽出一位幸运的得主，可以得到我们 Lululemon 所提供的价值等值8000元的商品券，以及呢，毕竟各位要留好你们的票根，我们会现在宣布今天的幸运中奖名单。好的，麻烦看上我们的大荧幕。恭喜呢，我们 Lululemon 所得奖的得奖者是 C1之3 18排39号 ，C1之3 18排39号。恭喜你获得我们 Lululemon 所提供的价值等值8000元的商品以及体验券。那我们呢，记得要到这个商品部旁边的主题摊位中呢，去领取你们的奖励。那等一下呢，我们会再提醒一下这位球迷朋友，毕竟他有可能去这个上厕所，或者是买我们的美食。那我们等一下会再提醒你们。等一下呢，比赛会继续进行第3节。那我们等一下精彩的比赛见，时间交给我们的 DJ 上。
This the kind of beat to go rat-ta-ta, rat-ta-ta, ta-ta-ta-ta. DJ Skillets, we beat the realest team on the list. Watch out, I kill it, watch out, I spit it on the mic, feel it. Y'all can't do what I do, just admit it. I'm about to get it, money, money, get it. Drop it to the floor, shake my big bitties, bopping like Diddy. My face look pretty, y'all ain't doing shit new, I done did it. Cause I'm marvelous, fantabulous, a bad chick. The flow sick like oh shit, you know this, I'm too fit to ever quit. Knocking these fools out like pool sticks. I do this, I move this, I prove this. Bars be hard like a pound of bricks and go up, jump to boogie to the bang bang high. It's the kind of beat to go rat-ta-ta. It's the kind of beat to go rat-ta-ta, rat-ta-ta, ta-ta-ta-ta. This the kind of beat to go rat-ta-ta, rat-ta-ta, ta-ta-ta-ta. This the kind of beat to go rat-ta-ta, rat-ta-ta, ta-ta-ta-ta. This the kind of beat to go rat-ta-ta, rat-ta-ta, ta-ta-ta-ta. This the kind of beat to go rat-ta-ta. Why don't rude girl when I act rah-rah? Me no never care, so me shit me pom-pom. Me a leader, so me don't follow. Elliot, that's who I back it up, kiss it, I'm it, super duper fly, hee-hee-hee-ha. Why do people want you put your hands up high? Put your hands up.
About 5.5 minutes left before the start of the second half, where the Steelers in town, of course, bringing a lot of signage on the fan side in support of certainly the two teams, and a certainly healthy amount for Jeremy Lin on the road. So Zhongkai and Zhang Yaozong on the Mandarin broadcast, taking care of you on the Mandarin side as we now bring you the leading scorers, starting with the Steelers. Goku Natason, 17 points, 13 of those coming in the first quarter on a high efficiency three-point shooting. Jeremy following up with 11 points, Wendell Lewis with 8, Little Lou with 6, Chen Wei with 5. Having Goku being as hot as he was to start the game certainly is a huge boost for the Steelers to jump out to their big lead.
Goku providing a lot of space and balance for Jeremy Lin to operate. Jeremy Lin obviously a huge offensive threat, but when he has open players and players able to knock down shots like Goku and Lewis, it makes the Steelers offense so hard to guard.
And on the other side is Quincy Davis and JJ, a pair of double-digit scores for the Kings, with Su Shen, all 7 coming in the first quarter. Amigo getting the start next to Joseph Lin, but only has 5 points and 3 points apiece. Of course, I think we're showing the offensive highlights, but right now, the key for the Kings once again is on the defensive side, where Kenny Manigault might only have 3 points, but is been the most disruptive defender for the Kings in the game. And I feel like they need a lot more of that kind of effort in the second half.
Absolutely. When you look at other guards, not only Manigault, players like Li Kaiyan and JJ Chen, they've been very aggressive on defense, and that's allowed this lead to just be at 15.
Last 3.5 minutes before the tip of the second half.
tweets, looking down on the comments, 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 down on the comments. Money, so I spent it on a down on a, 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 down on a.
Can't touch this. Can't touch this. Can't touch this. Can't touch this. My music hits me so hard, makes me say, oh my Lord, thank you for blessing me. What am I to rhyme and do like this is good? When you know you're down, a super dope homeboy from the Oak Town, and I'm known as such, and this is a beat you can't touch. I told you, homeboy, can't touch this. Yeah, that's how we living, and you know, can't touch this. Look in my eyes, man, can't touch this. Yo, let me bust the funky lyrics. Fresh new kicks and bands, you got it like that. Now you know you wanna dance, so move out of your seat and get a fire girl and catch this beat while it's rolling. Hold on, pump a little bit and let them know what's going on like that, like that. Hold on a minute, just fall on back, let them know that you're too much and this is a beat they can't touch. Yo, I told you, can't touch this. Why you standing there, man? Can't touch this. Break it down. Stop. Hammer time. Go. Hey, Scooter, stop playing, man.
我起床睁开眼，感觉在打 NBA， 每个夜店都在放我的 tape。Reporting when grinding, I do what I say。我找到了目标，会拼命的追。Hop in my jet, hop in my coupe, hand in my car， 我上一层路，球场的边界把我框不住。在人生的赛场，我不停的输，听到了哨声响也不能停。除了我自己，我谁都不信。穿梭在钢筋水泥做的丛林里 ，I feel like 木法在世界的 king。想要把风浪打穿了 drive， 勇往直前的话就会变简单。狂风暴雨，我不再心惊胆战，有船长的兄弟们和我共患难。Count like a dream, count a strategy. On the way from Dodger, crew in my team, I'm SOP. 自信是我的球衣，不停锻炼我的肌肉，带领我的球队战斗，永远不会低头。睁开眼感觉在打 NBA， 每个夜都在放我的
Welcome back to the broadcast. We're about ready to go for the second half of this April 16th game between the Steelers and the Kings here in Xinzhuang district of New Taipei City. In the earlier game, the Pilots were able to defeat the Dreamers in a pretty important playoff game down the stretch. There once again is FIBA. That's not actually his name. It comes from Mandarin Feiba, which is the nickname the Chinese players gave FIBA when he was playing over in the CBA for how prolific his flight ability was. The Steelers once again a little bit ready to go a little sooner than the Kings, as they have a little bit more to talk over.
Yeah, not much change to the Steelers' game plan. Just to look to clean up those passing and handling the ball.
It's going to be the same five for the Steelers. And on the King side, it's the same five for them. Start with a double screen for Yowei.
A lot of opportunities out of this play. A lot of open shots.
Even more space as Yowei. Good contest by Joseph. Ball will bounce helplessly out of bounds.
Good patience by Yowei and Lewis, but also good discipline by the Kings, not jumping on their threes and able to get the ball back. That's how they're gonna really dig into this lead. They have to play solid defense and really capitalize on their offensive possessions.
Only 17 seconds in, but Yowei subbed out for Little Lou as Tony saw something he didn't like out there. Amigo choosing not to shoot as Omar bouncing it out of bounds. Not on the same page with Amigo.
I think right now the Kings need to do better coming out their off-ball screens. Right there, Amigo catching the ball, not really in the sweet spot, and so it's hard for him to attack.
Losing the handles of it. Might be a little bit of lin-on-lin time as Joseph misses over to the right shoulder, and Big Sushi finishes the playoff with a score.
Right there, the refs letting the players play through contact. Another deflection.
Back to Natason, swatted away by Omar. More loose balls as Jeremy finally settles it just a bit. To Captain Lou from the left corner, bangs it.
Good job by Goku there, finds the open Captain Lou. Corner three is where he makes his money.
He had 16 on Friday. Big Sushi from the free throw line, 2 bounces and out.
Right there, Jeremy Lin waiting for the screen.
Bumped off the spot, and it will be a blocking foul by Manigault.
It's hard for Manigault there because Jeremy Lin, once he uses that screen, really turns that corner and lowers his shoulder, so any kind of contact there will be seen by the referee.
See the eraser swap by Omar. On the move, Jeremy misses to the left.
Good look by Jeremy, like you've seen a lot in his NBA days.
Foul. Amigo going right at Natason in transition. That'll be a foul apiece. Well, that's a little concerning. 4 personal on Natason. Amigo hits the first. In the first half, he was 3 of 4 from the line and only 1 for 5 from the field. Perfect in the second half as the Steelers will try to keep number 3 out of foul trouble by bringing Mouse in.
Goku's presence definitely going to be missed in this stretch. He's able to space the floor, able to attack with or without the ball, and be a good defensive threat.
Jeremy going all the way, but a wild ricochet of the basketball.
Jeremy Lin is able to accelerate when he wants to. Just a little too strong on that layup attempt.
The referees converged initially, and now they confirm it will be a Kings basketball, so a good stop by the team in yellow. The difference is 14 points. The biggest turnaround in Plus League history is 26. Joe slicing through the middle, but too strong with a runner.
Joe going to his right-hand floater, which he hits a lot.
Seems to be his preferred side, in fact.
You don't see that much with lefty shooters.
Amigo's turn to guard Jeremy tightly, but gets the deny as Little Lou trying to post up Joseph. Now with his left hand is short.
Good footwork there by Lewis, just left it short. Good defense by Joe Lin.
Manigault in transition, no.
Still unable to find his rhythm. Kenny Manigault had the open look.
Captain on the curl, just grazes the rim though, as fallen into a little bit of a scoring drought here. Deep pass as Big Sushi blows it close. Omar stopped by Jeremy. Still more opportunity as Joseph fires away, and still more frustration, but now on the visitor side hoop. Only 1 of 9 are the Kings, only 1 of 8 are the Steelers. Now working his way left, Little Lou will fire away.
Jeremy knew exactly where Lewis was relocating to. Good look by Lewis, just left it short.
But now it's coming over to help, forcing the miss. But again, more long rebounds out of all these second chances as Amigo through the nylon. Finally calming the game down just a little bit.
Amigo looks to the crowd, plays off their energy, but also a sigh of relief finally to see a three-pointer fall.
His first of the game as Lewis going at Omar with a right hook. Easy work.
Lewis getting better positioning and right there just patient.
Goes down the other way. Amigo has it crawl in. And now number 6 for the Kings has 12.
Good defense on Manigault on Jeremy. Forces him to pass the ball up.
Big to big passing as Mouse goes with the left hand and able to hit.
Right there, Mouse. Just good touch off that inside the paint.
Already hitting one. Amigo makes it 2 straight. Gets it to go and forcing the Steelers to a timeout. Exactly 7 minutes left in the third. It's a 10-point game.
Amigo really stepping up this third quarter.
We'll go to break. Back after this.
要追到10分差了，各位。
全场气势不要停下来，保持这个气势，继续为我们新北国王加油！尖叫声再给一次新北国王！
我们艺人朋友也非常卖力哦。
We're back from the commercial break, but the cheering hasn't stopped all during the timeout as Amigo Yang Jingming has been willing his team back into this one. A couple of three-pointers made and a lot more intensity on the defensive end has done it.
With the Kings having a stagnant first half, right there, Amigo just pulling up from 3. Probably gonna be a better look than we're gonna get all day, so he's able to just capitalize and bring this lead within 10.
They triple team Lewis and force a turnover.
And Omar has stepped up his defense. He's working hard, making Wendell Lewis lose some of his energy, and that's really what he's out there for.
Joe getting the handoff, now maneuvering left. Got the switch as a through pass will stop the momentum at least. So let's see if the Steelers can capitalize. Tainaway back in the game, out to Lewis, floats it up and gets the soft bounce. That'll end the Kings run for now.
Right there, the turnover by Joe Lin, just not on the same page as Omar. Connection with Omar tonight between the Kings guards, and Omar has been a little bit shaky. There we go, pick and roll action.
His favorite right-hand corner, steps to the right, the shot is up. Big ricochet all the way to Joe Lin as Mouse forgetting about the rules. Try to get it back by Kenny Manigault. Trying to take on Wendell Lewis, but I think I heard a couple whistles on that play. So he might make the case with one referee, but another referee saw the same thing. There we see the contact on the hand swipe. Now sometimes Tony is not exactly making a big fuss against the referees. A lot of times he's mad at also his own players.
Yeah, right there, a little confusion, whether it was a backcourt or not. Some Steelers players believe that Sushi redirected that, but referee said that it was a tip and that there was no possession.
Points, 4 rebounds, and he'll stay at 3 for now.
2 missed free throws. It's been an issue for the Kings tonight.
Jeremy doing around the world. Jerry slips it to Sliao, but stopped again by Omar. Good pass, and there's another block. We'll see who that one will go credit to, but it's a stop for the Kings. Chance to get it within single digits.
Omar has been playing very aggressively on the defensive end.
Amigo wings it back to Omar in an odd spot. 6 seconds left on the clock.
Players not really in their right spots.
Forced the shot up. Maybe he's in between the bank. It's Kenny Manigault. Look, he swishes it. No timeout by the Steelers. They're in a bit of a pickle.
Kings broken play, but able to get the second chance.
The elbow off target.
It's been an issue with team's efficiency on that side of the rim.
Sushi will put it up and in. That hit runner brings it within 7. And more bad news for the Steelers. Quincy Davis, the Patriot shot blocker, will check in for Omar.
Omar has been playing with a lot of aggression and has really put in a lot of energy defending that paint. Gets a little breather on the bench and brings in the more experienced Q to guard Wendell Lewis.
He'll catch it right on the inbound. Is Jeremy. Nice fake, but he blows the layup. I think that's his second one today. Nice hands by Natason. Got a little 3-on-3 going. Captain Luke from left 35 off. Marchand gonna set a play up. Maybe get Q a touch.
Joseph Lynn's headband fell off and
found his as a nice dime. Amigo to Big Sushi down low. Right shoulder. Couple ricochets and out.
Good look by Captain Lou. Had an open look. Joseph Lynn helping a little too much, but unable to hit the shot.
Quincy Davis will try three. He hits it. The deficit is now just 2.
And the crowd here is going wild. A lot of momentum on the Kings side right now.
There's a foul on the perimeter as right away Manigault helps Jeremy up, even though he probably doesn't want to be helped up yet.
Could have used a few extra seconds to get a breather. But good show of sportsmanship, as Manigault knew. But that's how the Kings have been defending, and that's how they've been able to dig back to this lead. They've been very aggressive on, sometimes over-aggressive on those pick and roll plays. Jeremy Lin just leaving a few layups off the rim. And it's a 2-point game right now.
Substitution to get Weber in for Mouse as Natason all the way right. Tricky 3-pointer is missed.
If he made that, I feel like I'll be watching Klay Thompson right now.
Not exactly the best time for a heat check, as Big Sushi will go off to a healthy doses of applause. replaced by JJ, who was a strong scorer for the Kings in the first half. Down low right away, but tied up. I think they'll call a jump ball here.
I think you also give credit to Sushi, who is going to get a breather on the bench. Played very well in that stretch, getting second and third chance opportunities for his team. Also, knowing just his spot on the floor, able to get easy dump offs, and that's how you got to play when you're trying to cut into a lead, when there's a lot of emotions, a lot of adrenaline.
You hit a big three earlier in the quarter. And a little bit of a tussle as Weber, hands in the right place, gets the steal.
Very good defense by Weber. Able to get a hand on that.
They're going to Lewis, guarded by Q. He's already scored on him a couple times. Spin baseline, overshoots the target.
Good defense by Q there.
Manigault right away, going right up. Matayson can't afford a foul, and he scores easily. Tied game at 62.
When you thought the Kings were just resting their players, they've been playing very aggressive.
Jeremy getting past Joe, quick layup. This one he doesn't miss.
Now the pace really getting picked up from end to end.
Vigo floats it down the middle. Be a run-out chance for the Steelers. Foul first before the actual shot.
Weber was open for a split second underneath that basket, but Jeremy Lin and Gokul not seeing him in the first time, but Gokul gets the foul call and offside out of bounds.
Weber played 9 minutes in Friday's action, but it was 0 for 3 from the field. Captain Lou probably subbed out to get a more fresh and energetic Little Lou in there.
And let's see how both teams finish off this quarter. 2 minutes left, just a 2-point game.
Jeremy fouled, he'll get the and one. I don't know what he's complaining about. He'll have this free throw coming up. Certainly doesn't feel good, but he's got the score and this free throw coming up. Not so happy about getting undercut there.
And this is where down the stretch, star players will have to step up. When you're running up and down the floor, legs gets fatigued. That's where you just got to step up and start hitting shots.
Whistle and a note from the table. As it looks like the referees are going to speak to the game commissioner for a little bit there in the score table. I want to double check which player it was on. It looked to me that it was Kenny Manigault, who could have made contact up high or down low. And they indeed confirm it's on Kenny Manigault. I bet you don't know this, Matthew, but that is actually what is so-called referee mechanics, signaling to the scorer's table. That's what they call mechanics. Really? In the referee world, yeah. Your referee mechanics include signaling to the table. Now, of course, the most important one is obviously officiating on the floor where you're moving. But the signaling to the table, that's also part of the lesson plan.
I know there's a lot of little intricacies that refs have to know and keep in mind. And obviously, players on the floor, player safety, game clock management. So they have a lot in their hands to be worrying about.
Hey, you hit a lot of the buzzwords right there. Joe to Q, deflected pass. Now back to him. He launches it on the underside of the rim, though.
Deep three. Not sure if that's the best look they want if they're trying to dig into this lead. You don't want the Steelers to go into the fourth quarter.
He's only in lead 0 for 6 as a few Kings jump the pass. They have a run-out opportunity and Q the mismatch. Rio can't get it to him. He wants to go one-on-one against Weber. Going right, floating it up. At least we'll get free throws out of it. Tom Boy might be a veteran, but he kind of got took to school there. Step behind.
Obviously, he's in there for defensive purposes. And so, as a 3-and-D player, you really like his defensive aggressiveness, but obviously Amigo hasn't has dealt with a lot more in his time, so knows how to play that. Draws the foul and hits the first.
Already 10 points on the quarter. So selfish. He only has 1 assist and no rebounds. But 16 points overall. Keeping the Kings in it. They were tied at 62, remember that. Score is now 67-64 for the Steelers. Payson going at Q, slipping underneath as Lewis puts it through. Big bucket for number 5. Amigo jump pass. Quincy Davis, thank you very much.
Good recognition by Amigo. The time and shot clock. They might get a possession at the end of this quarter.
Payson and Lewis on the same side as he moves to the left, puts it in. Too much for Amigo to handle down low on his own. 6 seconds left. Kenny Manigault recognizing, fouled first. The Steelers did have a foul to give, so it turns into a smart play. But they do have 2.9 to get a shot off. So not a horrible trade as you see Amigo's jump assist. Amigo from the right corner puts it up and puts it in. Refs say 3-pointer, and the score will be 71-69 heading into the 4th. And the final frame of this one, Matthew Yang, sit tight for another 12 minutes of Plus League basketball.
全场跟着节奏，一起敲打。
This ain't what you want. Sitting in the block. I just wanna rock.
我们一起看一下上方的大荧幕，一起跟着蔡老师秀出你的肌肉。Yeah, show your muscle. Hello， 弟弟，我们一起秀出你的肌肉。Yeah， 可以。都已经比好了，很好。哇，这个有点东西啊。一起秀出你们的肌肉好吗，两位美女 ？Hello, show your muscle. 可以。Let's go. Hello， 我们一起秀出你们的肌肉。可以，大家都练得非常好啊！秀出你的肌肉，秀出你的肌肉。来 ，Kid， 我们一起秀出你的肌肉好吗？有啦。可以，谢谢我们的 Kid 哥来到我们的现场，大家跟着节奏一起来。
Third quarter highlight package belonging to the new Taipei Kings. Down as much as 21 in the early parts of the game, but early on it was Big Su Zhen, and of course last year's MVP Amigo coming onto the scene as Quincy Davis and Manigault also doing their part, trying to key in on the Kings comeback.
Right now, this 4th quarter is going to be really interesting to watch because momentum is definitely on the Kings side, hitting multiple threes in that 3rd quarter.
In the end, it was a 31-18 quarter for the home team. Little Lou to Jerry start things off.
Let's see how the Steelers play without Jeremy Lin on the floor. Gets their motion offense.
Backdoor little loose lift by Manigal and an acrobatic finish.
Nice backdoor cut by Louis Wang. Saw his defender overplaying him and able to get the open look.
Down screen doesn't work for JJ. So it's Amigo going against Captain, losing his footing for a sec. So working to his right, his favorite shot, unstoppable, is number 6.
I don't think people realize how tough that is, fading away like that to one side.
But you know he's going right. There he goes again. That one tipped away, but Kings hang on. Q catching it, but the line drive is short. And that last Steelers possession, Jerry turned it over. Still, the courageous pitch over to Captain Lou, not wasting any time. Stuck on the rim in the basket, though. It's a wedgie. But no changes for the Steelers, despite what can only be described as a bumpy start. There you see Amigo more or less trying to find a spot than find the basket.
Absolutely. Dribble the ball probably 8 to 10 times with a really good defensive pressure by Captain Lou and still able to hit that fadeaway.
Going quick to the baseline with speed, poked away. JJ, a little delayed call, but hit Little Lou on the face, and so a little reset on the sideline. And I guess Amigo did his job, got the score, and is now going to get a rest. Captain Lou cuts through. Now Wendell Lewis looks to go in.
Puts Weber in the corner.
Trying to go on Big Sushi with power. He's able to get it. Quickly down the floor go the Kings. Backdoor to Q. He steps through, but fouled first. Weber had decent positioning, but Quincy Davis, those long legs, got out of the way as you see the quick, speedy layup. Tomboy having a pretty decent game. Been getting a lot of inconsistent playing time in the second half of the season. Down by 4, the 3 is up and in. Number 24, Venti Hongchusen, announcing his presence. Steelers lead is 1 as Country 9 pressures Jerry. Former foes in the collegiate level, classmates in fact. Dish to Weber, awkward layup, gets it to fall.
Good patience by Jerry, getting pressure out near the half-court line. He's able to use the screen and go downhill and find the open cutter.
Q with deep positioning, fakes one and the other, doesn't get it the first time. He can't get a second shot up. Backdoor, but JJ reads it all the way and gets a foul out of it. The Kings trying to argue for an unsportsmanlike. It'll just be a common foul. Captain Lou has had his share of unsportsmanlike in his Plus League career, and they might have an argument, but the referees are going to just say common for now.
Yeah, Captain Lou had his arm around JJ and wouldn't let go. JJ had to had to jump off of him so he could get his arm free.
Venti already hit that 3, switched on to Lewis. JJ catching and firing, no good. A long rebound off of the hands of Lewis. Jeremy and Lewis talking it over, but I don't think they will issue the challenge. Gonna keep it in the pocket of the Steelers. Less than 9 minutes to go in the game. Big Sushi in the wrong spot. But Q down low, foul first. They do say I believe they did say it was a shooting foul. Quickly, that's 3 team fouls on the Steelers. And look, had the mismatch on Jeremy, reached down and that'll be his 4th. Keep an eye on that. A lot of players with 3 or 4 fouls. Of course, we haven't said Lee Kai-Yen's name all of the second half. Missing the first and the second.
Kings leaving points on the table in this tight matchup.
On the game, the Steelers 9 for 13 from the line, and the Kings 13 for 21. Jeremy, the step back, the fall away would have been pretty. Still a chance for the Kings to tie it with a 3. Two screens on the right side. As JJ sidestep on the left side, pretty. There we are, tied again at 77. It's the Kaohsiung 1-7 Live Steelers calling the timeout.
Good step back. Good step back by JJ. Dribble, step back, pull up.
请掌声给我们新北国王拉队以及我们的新北国王。
If you read the favorite basketball comic book worldwide, it's Slam Dunk. Fans making a Changsun banner in yellow for the new Taipei Kings. Here in their castle, have tied the game up at 77. Their biggest comeback on the season was down by 22 against the Braves. All the way into 2022, that's the year. December 23rd to be exact. Jerry getting the best from Jeremy. An easy left-handed scoop layup. That time using Jeremy as a screener to good effect. Going to get Lewis off of Q.
I know. Hong Zisan trying to figure out what he wants to do. Gets a screen from Q.
Baseline out to Manigault. Steps into it, but still can't find the mark. His own board couldn't beat Lewis to the cup. Here come the Steelers in transition, avoiding the contact. Little Lou with the left hand. Assist to number 7, Jeremy Lin in transition. And just like that, it's the Kings who are calling timeout. Not happy with the no call. Manigault going to the basket, but probably needing to stop the Steelers getting a couple layups.
Good run out by Lewis. He's able to get the easy layup opportunity. Brings his lead back to 4.
Leading the game in scoring is Amigo at 22. On the Steelers side, though, they now have 4 players scoring in double digits, with Wang Yuxiang's layup getting him to 10 points. Not a lot of basketball left in the season, but certainly nowhere near the finale and the determination of our champion. Only 1 timeout left for the Steelers. Full timeouts, that is, 2 for the Kings. Don't forget, under 2 minutes, there's that 30-second timeout, which, as of right now, looms large. But we still have 7.5 to go.
Yeah, look to see what the Kings will draw up in this timeout.
Last time they had to start on defense. This time they'll start with possession. Maybe let's see if that'll affect their flow.
Well, obviously, we look at their after timeout plays, and we'll see what they draw up. Hong San playing a lot of the point guard in this fourth quarter. A veteran player, very patient and a good shooter as well. Go into their double drag. And obviously gonna look for JJ.
Well guarded. Passed out of the post up. Vacate the spot as Venti. JJ to Joe, fresh in the game. His three is in! Not over yet.
Joe had a tough outing last night and not a relatively great first 3 quarters, but is able to hit that 3 when it matters.
Indeed, his first made 3, 1 of 7, as Jeremy having a dive on the basketball. They'll hang on to possession, almost a good defensive stop for the Kings. Chance to dry the floor out as we see again.
A lot of physicality. A lot of contact on that. Manigault chasing Jeremy along that screen. The help defense collapsing in. Refs let them play on and call a jump ball on the tie-up.
In fact, after drying the floor out, they're getting a fresh inbound. Fresh basketball to inbound, I should say. Good deny by the Kings. Little Lou in the corner, coughs it up.
Kings read that play well.
Down by 1, Venti fires away, no good, as Jeremy just took that right away from Q. Now his deep three try, almost. Lewis got his hands on it, and they trap in the corner. JJ out to Manigault, and here they come. Just a fouling transition. But that is the 4th by the Steelers.
A lot of physicality on both ends. Refs really letting them play, and definitely off of back-to-back. Kings not showing any sign of having tired legs. Very impressive after a blowout loss and a tight one today.
They're slowing it up. Q stepping up with the screen. And a flung pass out of bounds. Airmailed that right to the Steelers bench.
Right there, Joseph Lin coming out that screen, picked up his dribble a little early. Didn't have the angle to hit Q on the roll and had to hit the corner guy and just overthrew it. And bad possession by the Kings.
Jeremy fakes left, now going right. Over to Young. Both tries from 3. This time is too strong.
Both teams missing a few shots. Still a 1-point game.
Manigault with a little momentum, but passes out of it. Back to Venti here on the floor. And the percentage is sliding.
Teams closing out really hard, leading to a lot of driving kick opportunities. Just doesn't hit for Venti.
Now 1 for 3 with some short work in the 4th quarter. Jeremy bumped off his spot before, now puts his head down, blocked from behind, no. They say it's Manigault fouling from behind. Oh, the referee actually indicating a body bump.
Obviously, Kings fans won't agree with the call. A lot of ball contact as well with the hand.
Kind of funny how now the players like to find Jeremy too to talk about officiating too. They're having a laugh at a very odd time in the game as substitutions are being made.
I think they're talking about how body contact has been kind of allowed this whole game, and then right there just a minimal contact, and then the foul is called off a relatively clean block from Manigault.
Seems like the referees want to get Jeremy out for some bleeding. He probably has a lot of small nicks and cuts.
And Jeremy saying it's probably just a paper cut. And he says that his hand's fine, there's no blood.
One of the substitutions is Natason in for Lewis. As this long delay definitely would make you think that the Steelers would have to be forced to change free throw shooters.
Coaches and players are trying to figure out, can they even find where the wound is? Jeremy Lin's having a laugh at it as well.
Funny enough, the Steelers will have to bring a free throw shooter off the bench. You can't pick somebody who's active on the floor. Well, funny enough, Natason, 77%. Or there, Little Lou, an 80% free throw shooter. Some of the leaders on the team as this long pause, giving Marshawn a chance to talk to the troops. Little Lou missing a little strong to the right.
Or sometimes when you come in fresh off the bench, you can miss those free throws. And at this stage in the game, it's very crucial to get any point you can, especially at the free throw line.
He makes the adjustment and is 1 for 2 on the trip. Little Lou only scored 3 points in Friday's game. Now in at center. Davis screens for JJ. The shot goes up. So close.
JJ getting a lot of open looks in this fourth quarter. Eventually they're going to fall if he keeps shooting like with those open looks.
Looking for a captain, but Amigo all over him. Now Natason doing their round the world. Switch on a cue, but 2 seconds left. Forcing it up. Does not get the floater magic as Kenny Manigault fouled again in transition, and not exactly the smartest take by Jerry there as it results in free throws. Or maybe he's thinking the long game. Kenny Manigault only 1 for 4 with a couple coming up.
Steelers been in a lot of close games recently. Definitely have more experience, especially when they're a 5-game win streak. Kings also very experienced, obviously the current 1 seed in our standings. A big matchup, big game for the Steelers as they want to keep their playoff hopes alive.
Manigault now with 10 points on the game, the 5th King to reach double-digit scoring as Tony will be making a change. Lewis and Weber in for Natason and Captain. Jeremy will also check in, having so many of those hand scrapes probably cleaned up.
Still remember back when he was on the Knicks, famous Band-Aid off his chin.
Slicing right, putting it wildly off the glass. Probably an intentional miss for Lewis. Steelers back up by 2.
Good play by Jeremy. Smart for him to just throw it off and let Wendell get the points.
He's got 18. Big bounce of the basketball into the hands of the Steelers.
Good defense by Lewis there, recognizing the high lob. Able to cut that down.
Manigault jumps the pass and will get a foul out of Jeremy, who kind of in the wrong place, wrong time there. Bad turnover by the Steelers.
And that's his 5th foul, so Jeremy will have to be careful for the next 3 minutes and 36 seconds. You definitely can't afford to lose someone like Jeremy Lin in this stretch. He's been the engine of this offense for the whole game.
Well, we said yesterday's game had a lot of free throws. This one, in the same case as Manigault, starting to look kind of sharp from the line. He was 7 of 11 yesterday. Percentage-wise, that's only 64%. Can't make it 4 in a row. Little Lou goes to the screen.
A lot of physicality, a lot of hand checking.
Straight to the basket. Nice find from Jerry to Lewis.
Good recognition by Jerry, knowing that Wendell's coming off the roll. Hits him perfectly in time.
Now Eagle on the elbow against Weber. Fires the pass out to Manigault. He drops it in. Beautiful floater from Kenny Manigault.
Such a tough shot. Get it over the outstretched arm of Wendell.
Going back to Little Lou. Answers right back. Another assist to Jerry.
And that's where King's overplaying those guards. It's gonna hurt you. Jerry and Lewis on the same page right there.
Amigo poke from behind. Little 4-on-2 break as Jeremy going to the rack. Another score, and that forces the Kings to call timeout. 2.5 minutes to go. The Steelers already on a 5-game winning streak. Right now, the team that looks like they could be making those adjustments late game. Definitely the big key is for the Steelers to get stops and dictate the pace on offense.
Yeah, right there, Jeremy on that. It was just a foot race, and he just wanted it more. Knew that if he just put his head down and lowered his shoulder, got the right angle to get that easy layup. And those points are so precious in this stretch when buckets are really hard to come by.
Looking at the fourth quarter scoring specifically, it's spread pretty even for the Steelers. Wang Liuxiang, a perfect 3 for 3 from the field for 7 points. And on the King side, they also have 5 scorer with Kenny Manigault. 3 out of his 5 points coming from the line.
Right now, a 2-possession game, so the Kings need to take this possession by possession. Just over 2 minutes left. Every possession is going to be so important.
Kind of scary thing if you're the Kings is that on the winning streak, Jeremy Lin has only shot 7 of 21 from three-point land. And so far on this game, number 7 is only 1 for 3 for shooting from outside. So could have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more points of a spread. Lee Kaiyan's in the game as Q comes over to help on the backcourt.
Yeah, very interesting to see this substitution. Lee Kaiyan sat on the bench most of the second half, now getting in the last 2 minutes.
A little floppy action doesn't work out as Manigault to Joe, back to Manigault. 1 second left. The wild teardrop. They're going to say shot clock violation, even though Quincy Davis was ready underneath. But good defense by the Steelers, a crucial stop.
A lot of contact there. The referee's just letting them play on.
Up by 5. This time Lewis makes him felt a little bit as Jeremy misses wildly. Lewis puts it on target. Chance to run for the Kings, but they'll slow it up. Joe, guarded by Jerry, trying to out-muscle him. They rotate it around. Amigo floating left, the 3 is up. Too strong. Not over yet, but
it's a good look by Amigo, who's been the most trusted person in the second half.
Even Jeremy opting not to go for a shot too early. Captain Lou from the free throw line as Amigo completely dislodged there, chasing him around. Towards the ground floor, he gives it a try. And Jerry, the rebound. Steelers still pushing. Now slow it up. Gonna burn some more clock. Hughes got hands, but referees don't give it to him. Jeremy faking, now passing, not in any hurry. Now we're trying to move. Can't end the game yet, but 35 seconds to go. Joe opting to shoot. That's kind of been the Kings' weekend this whole time. 25 left. Amigo will try. Still no luck. Quincy Davis fouled, and actually probably a good result for the Steelers. They can bring better rebounders in.
Yeah,
make Quincy Davis earn it from the line.
A stretch of about over a minute of possession on possession. Teams running up and down the floor. Players look a little tired and gassed from that, but only 19 seconds left in a 3-possession game, so it's going to be hard for this Kings team to really find a way to come back, but Quincy Davis trying to hit these two at the line.
Overshoots the first. $18 points by Jeremy Lin isn't his lowest total in any game. The lowest was 16 in that second matchup against the Dreamers. Q misses short. That's pretty much it. Steelers get it past the timeline and will hold on to it. 10 seconds exactly, as Kings have not given up on the game yet. Certainly much stronger showing than yesterday, but a little bit too late as of right now. Down by 7 with 2 Steelers free throws coming up. They change out the basketballs, but it looks like Jeremy's evening is over. Interesting enough, has not had a triple-double yet, even though he's been close several times.
And if things goes the way that it looks like, Steelers will move one game closer into that playoff opportunity.
Still with a foul to give. Q. Slight hug to the Wendell Lewis as the referee going to work to dry out the basketball. That's the one they already substituted in. If you can have basketball subs. Just a little tidbit, every Plus League game has 2 game basketballs ready. They face guard some of the guards by the Steelers. As the Steelers play keep away, and that'll be it. There's the final buzzer, 92 Steelers, 85 Kings.
Good win by the Steelers. They're able to close out that end of that fourth quarter. This team is looking closer and closer to like a playoff contender.
And they continue to be the longest win streak team active right now in the Plus League. Obviously need a little bit more help from the other teams in the league for the right wins and losses to get them in, but 6 wins in a row has been a strong effort.
Yeah, definitely it's a low-scoring game. Both teams were out running quickly, but it's a good takeaway for the Steelers that they've been playing better defense. And for the Kings, they just need to look how can they generate some offense while Mullins is out in injury.
Our producers are looking for Jeremy, so be a moment as he signs his game-worn sneakers. Did you notice if he made a change at halftime? I don't think he did.
I think he did, actually.
So in the final of the game, Amigo led his team and led the field with 22 points. And on the Steelers side, 4 players scoring in the teens. Goku Natason ends up with only 17 points, all coming in the first half, but Wendell Lewis jumping in the scoring, and of course Little Lou also with his opportunities to make some layups. Didn't miss out on any of those opportunities.
Yeah, great balance attack by the Steelers. That's exactly what they need from their players.
Now heading over to behind the Kings side, as all the players have now vacated to the locker room. Indeed, the win brings the Steelers to 13-21 on the season. And now, for the first time all season, have vacated the sellers of the league standings. While every team has made their runs, the Steelers have been playing strong ever since the 19th game of their season. Still ahead of them are the Dreamers at 15-20. So hanging in there is Kyle and Eddie. Now we're ready for the interview. Asked about all the other ways he helps the team besides scoring.
有时候就，你知道我觉得篮球就不是只是得分，虽然我对我自己的表现非常不满意，可是不能每一场都是觉得有最好的手感，最高的命中率。一样呢，就是我觉得你替上帝去做一件事，就是不管命中率是什么，不管数据是什么，还是用全心去做好自己。虽然可能不是像我想要看到一个结果，可是如果我可以用防守别的方式传球，如果可以鼓励队友这些东西，对我来说，上帝全部都看到了，所以。这些就是我一直学到的，从第一年到现在，所以我也是知道不只是一个方面会代表我自己的一个表现吧。
Long answer from Jeremy saying, basketball is not all about scoring. I wasn't happy about my game, but you can't always have a good shooting hand every game, but the team win is the most important thing, the thing that he's been learning since his first year as a pro. Now asked about the
这个就
opposing
是每一个
defense.
比赛有自己的一种个性吧，就是你不是你要看裁判怎么吹，有时候就是可能你一场比赛这就是犯规，另外一个就是所以这也不是裁判的错，这就是很正常的，就每一个联盟每一个比赛都会有不一样的一种个性，所以也是需要去看。那其实说实话，今天身体很疲劳，就是没有我这通常的那种爆发力吧，所以很多也不能就突破，包括他们的防守，他们是第1名的球队，所以他们的防守非常好，包括 Manigal，就是很多球他们轮转的球员，都一直防我，所以他们今天真的防得非常好。
Then saying every game has its own personality and officiating will vary. Not the referee's fault. He's been tired and not as explosive, but the opponents is the
我想
number
跟他
one
说的我
team.
已经都说了，昨天晚上你看到他，今天也会看到他，下一周也会看到他。我跟我的弟弟就是他也知道我只是要他快乐，对不对？就像一个哥哥，就是你替你弟弟会要什么，就是他每天很快乐、很健康，也可以就是希望可以有比较越来越好的表现可是当然，你们都知道我多爱我弟弟。
Then final thought, want Joseph to be happy, but they'll see each other the next 3 weeks. I don't know how happy Jeremy wants to see his brother, as both teams are trying to stack more wins to finish off the season.
Right, I mean, right there, Jeremy Lin's saying, you know, he's coming off a tired game and didn't really feel like himself, but obviously is able to perform at a high level. And you could tell, I mean, all game, Kenny Manigault, Joseph Lin, players just hounding him from start to finish. So for him able to come out with a stat line like that, and also more importantly, a team win, it's great for the Steelers and great for this team.
92-85 Steelers win. We'll go to one last break before wrapping things up from Xinzhuang. Welcome back to our broadcasts. It's myself, Ryan Chen, and Matthew Yang on the English broadcast here in Xinzhuang, calling this Steelers-Kings game where, for the most part, the Steelers had a comfortable lead. But to the credit of the Kings, they made it a ball game in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Kings individual players really stepped up, and players like JJ and Amigo, but their defense is really disciplined. They're coming off. Actually, the Steelers only turned the ball over 6 times that second half, so a lot of the effort really came at rebounding the basketball and getting out in transition, but they hit good threes and they were playing more balanced. A good effort by Omar, too, in the paint. And so they were just playing well and playing disciplined. Just came a little short in that fourth.
There you see the combined team stats where the fourth row down, 49-49, is the rebounding margin tied up. Now, to be specific, they were 5 for 10 in three-point shooting in the third quarter, but only 3 of 13, so maybe a little indicator of their fatigue level. Looking toward next week, on Saturday, the Lioneers head down to Kaohsiung to take on the Steelers, and the Dreamers played the Braves at home in Hoping Gymnasium after the Braves just went on a long road trip. And so the Steelers, now freshly in 5th place, will take on the last place Lioneers. One last look at the sneakers given away. And Matthew, thanks for being on the broadcast. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
On behalf of the 6 teams in the league and the league operations, say thank you and see you in the next one.